What's happening, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike, aka Living with 3M Auto Vlogging, and I'm going to tell you, I have searched all over YouTube and the Mercedes forums everywhere to try to find a quality video to show you how to change your oil in that. Mine's a 2021 Mercedes GLB 250, but the principle is really the same in the similar year models. So y'all follow along. I'm gonna just make a good video to show you what size wrenches and sockets you'll need, what kind of oil you'll need, and filter, where the filter's at. Hey, I got you best video on YouTube for how to change this oil. So let's jump into it. So I've heard some people say, you really need to remove that cover. No, you don't, because the oil filter is right here. See it right there? Right there. Fully accessible without removing this cover. All right, that's a 27 millimeter. You don't need a special tool for it. You just need a 27 millimeter socket and probably an extension. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you about the oil real quick and what you're gonna need. As long as you use a synthetic, a full synthetic, you're gonna be fine with the 5W30. Now, I know some guys will say, well, it's gotta have this code on it, that code. Hey, I've used this for years and there's no issues whatsoever. The Mobil 1 full synthetic is a great oil. It's going to only take you 5.5 to 5.8 quarts to fill up. So you can buy the individual quarts. I just went ahead and got 2 of these 5-quart containers. That way I'll have some extra if I need it for whatever. But it makes more sense to buy it in bulk like this than the small ones. It comes out cheaper, I believe. So also, not only the oil we're going to use today, here's your filter. All right, and it's a reusable cartridge back there. You'll retain the housing, but you change out the actual filter. But you got to be sure you use the new O-rings. Do not reuse old O-rings. So yesterday it was 48 degrees here in North Carolina in March, and today it's 75. So it's time to come out of the hoodie. So let's do this. Just like that, let's get started. Pulled it sort of down the driveway to when I jack it up, the front end would actually come back level. And that's the reason for it. You don't want to jack the front end up in the air on a level surface and that oil run to the back of the pan. You'll never get it out. It's not a complete oil change. So we come back under the front end and you're gonna notice these bolts right here. Got them across the front end, and you're gonna have to remove that to remove this panel back here. So that's gonna be an 8 millimeter, and I've got a set of these sockets that'll really help me out, make things quick. See, that's all it is right there. They're not hard to remove. We're gonna count them: 2, 3, 4. That's 4 up front. Now I'm gonna slide back in here, and I see 5, 6, 7, 8. I see 8 total. You just take your hand at the back of it, pull down like that, and you can see this bolt from the front of the engine without even getting up under here really. We're gonna loosen that. That's your oil pan, and you're gonna drain out all the oil into the container. All right, guys, this is a 13 millimeter oil drain plug. So now I'll just lift this up. Just like that, and you do want to let it down before it gets heavy. We'll let that drain most of the way till it just drips. Then we can clean our plug off, put it back in.
A few moments later.
Don't do like I just done, guys. I turned the camera off and started threading it, and it just slipped out of my hand. So yeah, be more careful. The things I do for y'all. God. Let's try this again. Now, I'm not going to use a torque wrench to tighten this down, but if you did want to, the specs would be 22 foot-pounds, but I just put a good Ugga-Dugga tighten on it and let it go. Now, once you get that drain plug back in, you can go ahead and button everything up down here. Go around and put these back in. So now just grab your 27 millimeter with your extension, and I'm using a 1/2 inch ratchet. Just loosen it counterclockwise. Once you've broken it loose with the 27 millimeter socket and ratchet, now you can remove it by hand and just lift upward like this. So the old one, you just gotta make sure you don't get oil everywhere right here. It usually will hold it in this cup, so don't flip it upside down. But you take your fingers and push it out like that. Discard this one. And remember the way you brought it out, so you don't put it in backwards. That lip will be upwards, just like that. Now I'm going to change the O-rings. You've got one right here, and you've got one right here, and you've got one right there, so 3 in total. So I'm going to take a very small screwdriver and pop those out. Okay, so we'll start with the big one at the bottom. Just got a small flathead screwdriver. That just helps you get up under it. And I can pull it off this way. It's right there. Now I'm gonna put everything in this box so I don't get anything confused, new versus old. Now what we'll want to do on this O-ring, I've actually got some oil still here, but we're going to take some of the old oil out of the bucket right here and just coat this O-ring just a little bit, just like you would an original type canister filter. Stretch this over carefully, working around. There you go. The medium-sized O-ring is next. Can be a little tedious, but not hard. Okay, it's off there. Now we're going to take the medium one, coat it with the oil. Going right down on there. There you go. Now for the small one. Got it off. And I'll drop my small one over here in the baggie. Got the oil on it. There we go. We're gonna take it just like this. Get it started by hand. 27 millimeter. Have it on tighten. Now that we've got it in there, we'll finish it off with a torque wrench set to 18 foot-pounds. Okay, now I'm gonna loosen your oil cap. It's right there. I'll set it out of the way. Notice I did not have to remove this. You'll go ahead and do this full 5 quarts out of this large container. So since I did not have a small quart plastic jug, I've got a measuring cup here, and that will be 0.5 quart. So half a quart to finish it off at 5.5. Now, just so you guys know, this engine does not have a traditional dipstick that you pull out and check the oil. It's all digital. So we replace our cap just like that. We are done up here. Now we're going inside the car because we've got to make sure the oil level is correct and also reset the maintenance reminder. You don't want to touch the brake, but you do want to press this one time. So everything's going to light up like this. Press this center button, then the arrow back button. All right, now we're going to push home and go over, and you're going to see that workshop pops up. We're going to select that. Next, we're going to go down to Assist Plus, enter it. Now it tells you switch ignition on, so foot on the brake. You're going to start. Full service. Now you're going to go down to confirm service and just pick an oil grade. It doesn't matter. I'd usually just pick the top one. Service carried out, yes. I want to go down to confirm. Full service carried out. Now, if you back out of Assist Plus and go to vehicle data, right there, that tells you your oil level and temperature. You can scroll down for other information, but that's what you want right there, 5.8. That's how you tell your oil level. So real quick, to remove the air filter, you're just gonna pop this top off. Now, I've watched other videos where the guy was taking all these wiring harnesses loose and taking this top, I think that's a mass airflow sensor, off before he's even getting down here to this. And I really think you just got to take the 4 Torx, the T20 Torx screws out. So I'm going to show y'all. We're going to do that right now. Let's see. Yeah, the screw stays in there. But it loosens up. Get over in the back here. There's this one. There should be one in the very back right here. Where is it at? Right there. Okay. Still move this stuff around. There it is. See, so far I hadn't had to remove any wiring harnesses or anything. So all I had to do was take these 4 out, the Torx T20, get under here, lift this up. Look at that. I didn't have to take any of that loose. So for the guys that's taking all this stuff loose, you don't have to do that. So yeah, that's pretty dirty, but we're gonna change it out right now. I got links down in the description, guys, for the air filter, the oil filter, the oil, for everything I used today in this video. So be sure to click the link or links in the description. The beveled corners go to the back. There it is. I mean, if you're taking this off and this off, you're creating a lot of work that you really don't have to do. It's that simple. There's nothing hard about it. And like I've said several times, I've watched this guy and he's like fighting with this wiring harness, take that off. Then he's fighting with this to take this, I think that's a mass airflow or whatever, but he's trying to get that off. And then he takes the 4 screws loose and I'm like, dude, just leave it all together. 4 T20 Torx is all you need, removed or loosened. The airbox lifts up, change your filter. Let's go. And putting this thing back on, you've got a peg here, a peg here, and a peg here. So you just line at least 2 of those pegs up with your fingers. Push down, it'll clip, push that one. There we go. It's that simple, guys. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm just saying. I mean, this is a simple oil change that dealership is probably going to try and charge you guys a lot of money. And they call it service A, service B on the Mercedes. And hey, it's a simple oil change. You don't have to pay somebody to do this. So oil change, air filter for the engine. It's that easy. And you watch Living with 3M.